Will the Raiders' offense finally come to life? Or is this just another crazy experiment doomed to fail? Chip Kelly is the new offensive coordinator, but does his philosophy still work in the NFL? And more importantly, how much of this decision was influenced by Tom Brady? Let's break it all down right now.
We always had a great relationship. We still do. And I know there was a lot of things later in my career that people would say, or to try to create division. I think there was always a great respect for each other. And I always saw him as someone that I was trying to please out there as my coach. And I wanted to be the best I could be for the team. And he was always trying to deliver for our team in the role that he was in. And were there times where we didn't see everything eye to eye? Yeah, but I mean, that's 20 years of a relationship. And I said this, I think in one of the documentaries, like, I'm not characterizing our relationship based on, a few moments that weren't perfect for either of us. I mean, we had as great of a relationship as you could have over a long period of time with tremendous amount of success. And there's no coach I would have rather played for than him. He taught me so much. And you're right. I think the role of that coach is very much like a parent. If you're not performing well and your grades are below standard, you got to tell your kids that. And if they are putting forth the effort, you got to tell them that too. And you got to teach them, and you got to develop them, and you got to be there. And there's a sophistication to being a parent, and a good parent at that, expecting that. A lot of these young kids today, they don't know what the right ways to do things are. And you know what? Sometimes to have a little bit of fear in people is a good thing.
Yeah.
People should have to wake up and go, oh God, I got to do a good job today, or else. And I think that's very motivating. I think we're in a culture now where hopefully it can be a little more balanced, that, to be rewarded for bad behavior, to be rewarded for being selfish, to be rewarded for thinking about yourself as an individual in a team sport. Like, I loved playing against those guys. I never wanted to play with those guys. You work too hard for too long to think about yourself in situations in team sports. And I think the culture that I was a part of in New England embraced the team-first attitude. And what are the rewards of that? Well, championships were won.
The Las Vegas Raiders just made a move that could change everything. Chip Kelly, one of the most innovative and controversial coaches of the last decade, is officially back in the NFL as the Raiders' offensive coordinator. But is this the right call? Or are we about to witness another offensive disaster? Despite Tom Brady being an undisputed NFL legend, his role behind the scenes with the Raiders is a potential scandal. How can a guy be a team owner and at the same time call games for the league? This not only opens the door to a major conflict of interest, but also puts Brady in a position that no one else in the NFL has. He has privileged access to behind-the-scenes information, can influence critical decisions, and is still inside Fox broadcasts, analyzing teams and coaches in a way that no other owner can. And let's be honest, does anyone really believe Brady will keep these roles completely separate? He has already directly influenced the Raiders' offseason moves, helping to bring in Pete Carroll and John Spytek. Who's to say he won't use his role at Fox to gather even more intel on other franchises and use it to benefit the Raiders? Roger Goodell might say he's monitoring the situation, but the reality is that the NFL has never dealt with anything like this before. If nothing is done, other owners might start demanding the same privilege. Then what? How will the league ensure fairness? The truth is, this story is far from over, and don't be surprised if a new rule is introduced soon to prevent this kind of situation from happening again. But until then, Brady is playing both sides, and the biggest losers might be the rest of the league.
Well, guys, it's still the same Raiders team that's coming off their 5th worst finish in franchise history. We still don't know who will be under center or who will be calling plays when the season kicks off in the building behind us in September. But after Pete Carroll and John Spytek were introduced as head coach and general manager today, there is a better sense of optimism, isn't there?
Absolutely, Nick. You and I were both there. Our photographer, Robert, was there. Our whole team was there to witness current and former stars in the building. You got Max Crosby there in the team meeting room. You had Marshawn Lynch yelling a big Raiders in the middle of the introductory press conference. And one guy who wasn't necessarily there, but his presence was very much felt, was 7-time Super Bowl champion Tom Brady. I asked Coach Carroll about the impact that Brady had on him coming to Las Vegas. Here's what he and John Spytek had to say. Coach Carroll, you've mentioned Tom Brady's name multiple times in this presser.
Have I done it too much?
No, not in my opinion, no. What was his involvement like in the hiring process for the both of you?
Well, he's been integrally involved, wherever I know that the process could allow him to be in. We haven't seen him, he's not been here. He's got a big job. But he has been a really exciting part of it. This is his opportunity to put his stamp on a franchise. And so we're excited to represent that. When Mark figured out how valuable it would be to put Tom Brady in this mix and bring that kind of football background and history, Mark made a great move.
I got a chance to be around, in my opinion, the greatest player ever. And it was a love of the game and a competitive desire that just didn't allow him to quit. He was never out of a fight. He was willing to do things that the ordinary football player person wasn't willing to do. And we're gonna turn over every stone to find that leader for this team too.
It's our mission to build this football team up around the quarterback position. It isn't the only spot. We happen to have the greatest of all time to help us and to see clearly, and we're gonna lean on Tom as much as we possibly can for his insights, because nobody has the insights that he has. He's that unique.
Pretty amazing to see Tom Brady and Mark Davis at a Las Vegas Aces game as well. Just goes to show how much belief a guy like Tom Brady has in the sports capital of the world, Nick.
Yeah, Alex, it's crazy to imagine just how much Tom Brady's influence has changed this Raiders franchise since he became a part owner in the middle of last season.
At the end of the day, Tom Brady's situation with the Raiders still raises a lot of questions. Will the NFL step in and set new rules to prevent this kind of conflict in the future? Or will Brady continue playing both sides without consequences? One thing is certain, this story is far from over, and any move the GOAT makes behind the scenes could shake up the Raiders and the entire league. So what do you think about this controversy? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And of course, if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure to do it now so you don't miss any Raiders updates. The next big story is coming and you won't want to miss it. See you in the next video.